getting in. We're getting some people in, so I'm playing some music just to lighten up the mood. We're gonna start in about 2 minutes, so just hold on for a bit. I'm just getting everybody in while I'm getting my notes together. So I want to thank you for joining. I'm going to be doing a training slash my regular nightly show where we talk about fitness and health. So as I like to start with every show, we always start off with the creed of the hero. So I want you to repeat this after me. I'm smart, I'm skilled, I will. So let's get into the show. So my name is Don Hozier. I am a former personal trainer, and currently I am focused on managing trainers and pretty much just helping out in the realm of social media marketing and helping other trainers get their business up. I also train people with coaching and train people in the realm of Instagram and Facebook and other social media to try to get them to get better at using social media and helping them also get better with understanding how to market themselves and get their name out there, because a lot of people struggle with actually using social media the right way. They struggle with getting more reach, they struggle with getting more engagement, and a lot of people use it for entertainment purposes, which is important and it's good, but there's another side that people need to understand, which is the business side, which is using it to actually promote a business and to move forward and to do some other really cool things with it. So that is what I do. So what I need you guys to do is to hit the little airplane, the share button. It looks like a little triangle at the bottom right hand of your screen, and I want you to share this with at least 2 people that you know either might be getting into fitness and they want more fitness tips, or somebody you know who is a trainer and they're trying to get more clients, they're trying to get more traction on their page. So I want you to share this with at least 2 people. So, moving on. What's been going on this week in my life? So, for the most part, I've been continuing with our program. I've been mentoring more people. I did reach my goal from last week, which was to get more people into the program, to start mentoring people officially, to start training them and properly getting them to understand how to market themselves. So for the most part, this week has mostly been actually getting off the ground. The past couple of weeks, I wasn't able to find people to actually mentor. I wasn't able to teach. I was still building my page and still figuring out methods and ways to structure my curriculum so I can start teaching. So for the most part, we've been doing that. Like I said before, we're still working on getting people on the show. We're still working on getting more engagement and getting more fun activities. So we're still moving forward with that. But for next week, we're going to start doing more focusing on the show itself, getting more people involved. So that's what's been going on this week. On top of that, that's what's going to be going on next week. So before I forget, we have our candle of the month. So like I said before, make sure that you hashtag Strawberry September. Now we only have about less than a week. I think it's only about, let me check my calendar, until Saturday. So we have until Saturday for October 1st. So make sure that you get all your hashtags in for Strawberry September. This is a nice strawberry scented candle named Really Good Scented Candles. So I would advise you guys to get some nice scented candles for the fall. Next week. So next week we're gonna have another theme. So it'll be something for October. September was, of course, Strawberry September. So you're gonna get these from Homeworks. These are really, really good scented candles. They last really long. Make your room smell really nice and sweet. So moving forward into our activity for tonight. So unfortunately, I didn't remember that I can't live stream and use my phone at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, let me pull this up. I'm gonna do a fun Q&A that I had some people ask me questions, some of my mentees and other people ask me questions. So I'm gonna pull up some of those. Let me see if I can find the screenshot. Okay, so we're gonna do that as the first activity for tonight. So starting off, let me see, I'll look at which questions are the most interesting. Some of them were just based off of mentorship and what people wanted to see, or what people wanted me to teach them while I was mentoring them. So let me find ones that are like more laid back. Let me see. Okay, what is your pet peeve? So for pet peeves, and I don't want to say the one I said last week, because it was a little bit extra, but I think the one now is people chewing with their mouths open. That's like one thing I can't stand. Even though it's not that serious, I can't do it. So that's one of them. Let me see what else. What is the most beautiful place you've ever been? I would say probably further upstate New York, since I live in New York, but I haven't really been around the country as much as I want to. But probably upstate New York, because I like forest, I like greenery, I like the whole foresty. Not even foresty, woodsy. I like the whole woodsy look to stuff. So probably upstate in New York. What is the most courageous thing you've done? I think it'd probably be learning how to drive. Because on its own, that was like a whole traumatic slash insightful experience. So probably learning how to drive, because I did it really quickly. I did it in a short amount of time. On top of that, I also kind of learned on the fly. So of course I had an instructor. I didn't just go out by myself, but the way that I was taught, it was more of kind of just learning on the fly, learning as I was doing it per se. So I would say that was one of the craziest things. One of the more recent ones that I've done. Let's see what else. What would be harder for me to give up, coffee or alcohol? I would say neither, because I don't really drink alcohol. And coffee, I don't really drink a lot. I'll usually just have it like if now, where I have to do lives and stuff, or if I'm presenting, or before I have a coaching call, or before I train somebody, I'll usually have coffee. But I would say that I can give it up. So I would say probably coffee. Let me see what else. Would you rather not brush your hair or ever your teeth? Probably hair. Probably hair. Because I work with a lot of people like close up, so I can't be like just like super like hot breath all the time. So, but the hair we can do, because the hair is like, you can just put a hat on or something, but you can't like go the whole day like just like not opening your mouth. So probably that. Let me see what else. What is the funniest thing you've seen a stranger do? See, and that's hard to answer because I live in New York City, so we all know, everybody in New York City knows that it's crazy stuff happening all the time. But I think it was one time, and I'll never forget this because it was when I was in high school, and I was walking to my bus stop because obviously I had school, so I was walking to my bus stop, and there was like a lady that was like, she was like stuck in the park, and I guess she was sleeping there or she was just in there, and they locked it because they locked the parks here at night, at least where I am in New York City. So I guess like she didn't know, or like maybe she was sleeping and they didn't see her. So we're walking by because I'm with my sister, and the lady is like banging on the gate, like I think she was saying like help. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like I shouldn't put it in the category as funny, but it's like it was just so random. Like there was no way to react to that. So coming to school, I'm like, guys, like this is what I just saw. So yeah, New York. Let me see what else. What would your perfect Saturday be like? Um, Perfect Saturday. Probably what I do now. So waking up, working out. If I don't have to work out that day or train anybody, like my perfect Saturday, and I have my trainers training people. Wake up, eat, um, play soccer, play my PS4. Definitely go for a drive, and then come back and just like chill out and watch TV. Like that's like my overall. Ever since I was in college, if you were around me when I was in college, and I was living on campus, you know that was my thing. That was every weekend. Anytime I had me time, it was that. It was driving and coming back and just watching TV. Let me see what else. What would be your perfect vacation? Probably somewhere in Europe, because I've been meaning to go since I was in high school, and then of course like having like played soccer, growing up, that's the main reason why I always wanted to go. So probably Europe, probably just like somewhere on the beach, probably Portugal or Spain, since I speak Portuguese, but probably Portugal because of that. But yeah, probably just Europe, man. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, I didn't have a lot. Okay. So moving forward into the actual topic of the evening. So we're getting into what you guys came here for. This is what people were waiting for since last week, because I posted the announcements. I posted them about a week before. So is ego lifting the worst gym sin? So a lot of trainers, a lot of people, and this is specifically for my clients. This isn't for my trainers. This is for my clients, and this is for people who overall are getting into fitness. My trainers, you guys don't say anything because you guys know how this is, but I want to give some time to explain this to people who are getting into fitness, people who they're just starting working out. So don't say anything. But it's controversial. It's very controversial because some people say they have the iconic ego lifting is bad, it damages the body, and you're not getting a real connection on the muscle. And then you have the opposite side where people are like, oh, you need to have the strain on your muscle. You need the muscle to be stimulated to grow. So, is it the worst gym sin? To answer the question for the night, I would say yes and no. Now, I know most people wanted me to pick a side. However, I can't because this situation, it comes in, the topic, the whole controversy comes in given different circumstances. So it depends on the situation and what the person wants to grow, what the person wants their results to be. So let me explain. So when you have somebody we'll use somebody slim, and we'll use somebody who is slim, and we'll give him a name. But let's say his name is Timothy. So Timothy is slim. Timothy is 120 pounds. Now I'm using him because ego lifting relates to people who oftentimes are slim and trying to put on muscle. People who are trying to lose fat, they don't really talk about this as much. They don't really speak on it as much. But we're going to use somebody who's slim, who's trying to build muscle. So we have Tim. Tim is 120 pounds. Tim is really lean. Tim doesn't have a lot of bone density. So he's lean, he's slim. We'll give him an average height. We'll say he's about 5'7"-ish. Well, in America, we'll say he's about 5'10". But we'll give him an average height. Now, Tim, he's going to the gym. He doesn't really want to, strain his body too much. And he's eating a lot because he's what you call a hard gainer. He calls himself a hard gainer. And he really wants to grow. So he's doing the same thing week in and week out. He's doing his curls, he's doing his bench, he's doing his compound, his big lifts, his big movements. He's doing what he needs to do. And he's not seeing the results that he wants. Now, a lot of times, not everybody has a trainer, but this is where trainers come in. But let's say he's by himself, he doesn't have a trainer. He's going to listen to the side that often says, you don't want to strain too much. And on top of that, you want to focus on form because, the goal is you're trying to tear down the muscle. You're trying to actually tear it down to rebuild it. That's where you see the gain. That's where you get the strength increase. That's where you see the gain. So he's like, okay, I got to take my time. I got to actually feel the contractions to tear the muscle. Now, that's true. However, he had been doing this for about 8 weeks, a good maybe 2 months. Maybe to be generous, he did it about 2.5 months, almost a quarter. So he's doing all of this stuff. However, he's not progressing. And the thing I need you guys to understand is that when you're trying to see physical change in the body, you have to be progressing because the body has to say, oh crap, I need to adapt, because that's what happens when the body changes. It's adapting. So the body needs a reason to be like, why should I grow? Why should I change? Because people think that the overall goal, even when they're trying to lose fat, because when you're losing fat, your goal and your method of doing it should be to gain muscle. So the important part in gaining muscle, the way you do it is by constantly increasing, by constantly challenging yourself, and by constantly growing. So with him, we go back to Tim's case, he's not growing. Why is he not growing? Because he's not progressing. And that's where the ego lifting tends to come in, and people argue and they debate and they say, all right, well, if he does that, if he lifts too heavy, he's not doing what he should be doing. He's not feeling the contractions. He's not taking his time. Now, this is where when I'm training people, I tend to use a mix, and that's why I said the answer is yes and no for today's topic, because you have to incorporate both. So what I do personally, I will train somebody and I'll make them do 3 sets. Now, you can go back, if you don't understand how sets work, you can go back and look at my sets video. It's on YouTube. The link is in my bio. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, so I'll have them do 3 sets, and within the sets, it'll be like 10 reps. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I want them to progress, what I'm going to do is probably, because I update the workouts every 2 weeks, so what I do is the first 2 sets, it'll be 10 reps each. The third set, what I'm going to do is I might drop the volume, and instead of doing 10, I'm going to make them do about 5. However, the catch is I'm going to either make sure that they increase their form. So for somebody who's doing curls, I'll say, okay, for this one, I want you to really focus on your form, or instead of form, I'll up the weight. So if he's doing curls, Timothy is doing curls with 30 pounds, I want to up the weight. I want to do 35 pounds, 5 reps. So we're dropping the volume, but we're increasing a little bit of intensity. What is that going to do? That's going to tell his muscles, yo, Tim, you need to grow. You need to grow. I need a reason to grow, because if we're constantly just doing the same thing, why should I grow? And it's the same thing with, I'm not somebody who studied biology and studied the biological science, but a good example is how the body reacts to certain things. So, for example, if you keep rubbing your hand, I know you guys can't see my table, but if I keep rubbing my hand on my table, what's going to happen is my body's going to adapt to protect me. It adapts to protect me by creating the callus, because the body, the human body wants to always survive. So what it's going to do is it's going to create that callus, because the body's like, okay, there's a new stimuli. I need to protect myself. The same thing happens when you're working out. The body is like, oh, crap, I need to grow. So that's why people need to understand, and you specifically as the viewer, you need to understand that fitness is a reaction, because your body's reacting to what you're doing. The body's like, okay, we're in danger. We need to upgrade. Think of it like a video game. We need to upgrade. You've been doing all this stuff. We need to upgrade you. So people shouldn't just think of fitness. Now, depending on your goals. If your goal is just to be healthy, that's different. But most of the time, when I have people that question me, or I have people that want to be trained, they want to see results. Either it's fat loss or gaining mass, building muscle. The result is you want to see a change, but it's pretty much just the body responding to what you're doing. So that needs to be understood. That's why there's so much controversy, because some people say, hey, you could end up doing too much and then you're not properly growing, because you're spending your time just pumping away and you're not really focusing on on the movements. You're not really taking your time. That's why my strategy comes in with a midway point where, you spend the first 2 reps developing your form. The last one, we drop the volume, because around the 3rd set, you're going to get tired. So we drop the volume and we increase the intensity. And what we're going to do is that's kind of like the muscle stimuli to snap you back into, okay, there's a reason why we're doing this. So that is the importance of both. Some people say, the opposite. And that's where, if you have a lot of extreme intensity, it can be a little bit hard to see results in some cases, because you're not focusing on form. So you're kind of just moving weight around quickly, and you're not really properly growing, because you still need your body to adapt to the movements. But the goal is to have both, to adapt to the movements, and on top of that, to have the body be stimulated to grow. So you want to make sure you get those 2 things in. But that's why people complain. On top of that, injury is another thing. You don't want to get injured. But that's why like I said before, I would drop the intensity. Drop the volume and increase the intensity. Dropping the volume meaning that you're dropping the amount that you're doing, the amount of stuff that you're doing. The intensity is how intense it is. So that pretty much explains the increase in weight. Now, what I personally do, and what I've been doing for the past 2 to 3 years with my clients, is that I'll make sure, and I do this as well, so this is coming from something I do. I'll start off, because at the beginning of the set, you have the most energy. I'll start off the set with the incentive that I want to stimulate the muscle, stimulate the growth first, because I have the most energy. So I'll do what I said before, but do it in reverse order. So if I'm used to doing 10 sets of, not 10 sets, 10 reps, and I'm doing 3 sets, but 10 reps each of curls, what I'll do is I'll do 5 reps of curls. So I'm dropping that frequency, I'm dropping that volume, I'm upping the intensity. So I'm going to up the weight. So instead of doing 30 pounds, I'm going to do 35 pounds. Therefore, you'll still have energy to finish out the rest of the set. So it'll be better because you're getting that muscle to be shocked, you're getting that stimulus in, and you're saving energy. So that's one thing to write down if you want to increase your workouts. So the overall question was, is ego lifting the worst sin? I would say yes and no, but I would lean more towards no, depending on, like I said, your goals and the way that you use it. So moving forward, we have the tip for the week. This is for my clients that do mentorship with me. This is something I want you guys to write down. So I'm going to give you a second to get out your notepads or to write on your notes, whatever you need to do. So this tip is going to be important in terms of the way that you look. And I know some of my mentors, they already heard this because we've been working on it throughout the week. But we've been working on it pretty much, throughout the week. But it's and the importance of your visual presence and how you look. So what I want you guys to understand is the importance of your bio. So the bio is key because your bio is, it's not just how you appear online, but on top of that, it's key because it's your first impression from a lot of people. It's the way that you first look when anybody comes across your bio. It's the way that you first look to them. So you want your bio to be your good first impression because, you got to understand, especially with business and any marketing psychology, not even marketing psychology, but just any social media, the brain makes split-second decisions, and it makes subconscious decisions that sometimes we're not even aware of. So some of the decisions that we make, like even to laugh at something that's funny, it's subconscious. That's why everybody's humor is unique. And that's why you'll laugh at something and you won't think about it, because we make split-second decisions in our mind and we don't always think about it. Why? Because the brain works really quickly. So that's why the bio needs to be optimized to quickly be clean and crisp to the point to show what you do. So for all my trainers, this is for you, to show what you do, but in a way that makes you stand out, because you want people to look at your bio and be like, okay, this person is unique. Let me see what they have. So you need to understand human psychology and just the psychology of people in a more casual sense, in a marketing sense, because the people, they can't even explain why they like certain things because it's so quick. So literally within a fraction of a second, somebody can decide whether or not they're going to click on your bio and whether or not they like you. Now, you can kind of persuade them through the way that you post and through, your aesthetics and how your page looks, but you have a short amount of time to pretty much hook someone in. So that's overall the, I would say, visual training, the visual aspects of marketing and the visual aspects of pretty much just being a trainer. That's the important part, and that's the important tip with organizing your bio, making your bio look good. So you guys need to specifically focus on making your bio better, making it precise, making it look neat, making it look professional, making it look organized, and standing out. That's the key thing. I know I said unique twice, but making sure that you stand out and understanding the importance of first impressions. So that's my tip for my trainers, for my mentees. So we're going to talk more about that this week. Moving forward, let's see. Where am I? Okay, so we're going to go into the questions that I had for the week. And like I said before, I like to answer them on live, so I'm not constantly answering the same questions throughout the day. So let's see what questions. Okay, do you regularly work with clients? Yes, I do. Like I said before, I delegate my work to the trainers under me. So like I said, since I don't have time to train because I'm doing other stuff, because I'm coaching, I'm creating content, I'm working on other businesses, I delegate my work to them and they train you with my methods. So yes, I work with clients. I don't train people personally, but I have people that do it. What are some good goals to start with? For the most part, I think, just the habit. I think that if you can start off a good habit, if you can get into the habit of being in the gym, and not just being in the gym, but even just working out, just the habit of the real self-care. If you can get into that habit to the point where it's like week in and week out, I can't go to bed unless I do what I need to do. I do my workouts. That's the best thing to start with, is the habit, because it's a lifestyle. A lot of people don't think about that. They just think that, I'll just do it for a while and then get the results. No, it's pretty much a lifestyle. And that includes the diet part, because the diet part is an even bigger part of the lifestyle. You can go away with not working out for I wouldn't say a couple of years, because that's too much, but a couple of months. Like me, I haven't worked out since like February and I'm still in decent shape. And like I said, that's due to a number of reasons. That's health, along with injuries, along with just being busy doing other things. But the diet part is important. So you need to pretty much just set that goal of the consistency first, especially if you're really, really starting out. Well, how do I measure progress? So like I said I think it was a few weeks ago, looking at clothes, I would rather people look at clothes than looking at their, I remember, it wasn't on here. It was one of my friends that asked me. Because she was asking if, should I keep looking at the scale? I'm a big advocate for not looking at the scale. Your weight fluctuates a lot. Water weight comes in a lot too. And on top of that, because your diet changes, hormones change, that can affect your weight. And also bone density, of course. But the important part is looking at clothes and taking pictures of yourself, looking at your body. Because those are most of the results that you either want, but those are the results that pretty much are going to matter. Because like I said before, weight is, how do I describe it? Weight can add in a lot of factors. So, you can have somebody who's really slim, however, they can weigh more than me. Like a good example is Usain Bolt. He's about, I think he's like 6'2", but he weighs more than me, but he's much, much slimmer than me. Mind you, I'm like 5'10", and I weigh less. I weigh about 170, but I'm a lot buffer. So that's why the weight part shouldn't be something that people look at too much, because bone density and other things. Funny story, I remember last year, it was before the fall had started, I was drinking a lot of water. And it was at a time where I wasn't really working out as much. On top of that, I was stressed out, I was doing a lot, and I had started retaining water. I retained so much water, I think I retained about like 15 pounds of water, because when I checked my weight the next 4 weeks, I had lost about like 20 pounds. And mind you, this is unique because this was the fact of me drinking at least a gallon a day. And I wouldn't recommend that to start, because I did it really quickly. I was almost forcing myself. So I wouldn't recommend that. If you want to get up to a gallon a day, work your way up slowly. But I was drinking a lot, and I just remember, feeling heavy, truly feeling heavy. So the important part is that, your weight fluctuates. It fluctuates a lot. let's see, what's next? How much do I charge? So I go based off of the sessions, because not everybody will pay monthly. I'm flexible. However, I usually go by sessions. For my mentorship, that's monthly hands down. But for the, what's it called? For the, what was it? For the training, I do it by session. By trainers, you have to work that out with them because they're different. Some of them do it monthly, some of them do it by session. So you would have to work that out with them. But of course, it's going to be in between the two. But in terms of price, I would say it overall varies. Let me see, what else? What other questions? I think that was it. Yeah, that was it so far. So that was from Saturday to today. I don't even remember if I went live Saturday. But those are the questions in between the time span. So that was the Q&A. So as we wrap up, in closing, I want to say thank you for joining. Make sure that you share this. And we're going to do another live Saturday. Like I said, we changed the time, so we're not just doing the same time, 8 o'clock, because 8 o'clock was a little bit too late, and I had other stuff to do, and I didn't want to be waiting all day, so I'm sticking between 7 Eastern time. I might switch it and make it a little earlier and start doing 6 o'clock, but we're going to see, we're going to do a poll, and we're going to get more feedback to see what time works for other people. The days, I'm going to keep Saturday, and we're going to have more guests on. Tuesday, I'm going to keep for the most part. I might switch to Monday. I'm going to see. And let me see what else. That'll be it. Other than that, make sure you guys comment and leave a fire emoji if this was helpful. What else do I need to add? And also, if there are trainers looking to be mentored, I have my free workshop that's a week long. I'm going to be doing this probably throughout the fall. It's going to help you pretty much just increase your reach through Instagram and some other social media platforms. So it's a free workshop. It's going to help you guys grow. It's going to help you increase your reach and get more clients. For people who are looking for training, like I said before, you can contact me and I'll get you hooked up with a trainer. And we'll get you right, because we have a fall plan, and we also have some good meal plans coming in. We also have some merch, so we're gonna have some leg bands and booty bands that people like, because I've been seeing a lot of people like the booty bands, like it's like a band and like people use it to grow their butt kind of. I'll just post it because I don't know how to explain it, but we have some pink booty bands. What was the other thing? Water bottles. We have some water bottles coming in, so get your water bottles. They'll be custom made. All of that will be on my story, so you can just hit me with the swipe up, or you can just DM me, just say, hey, I want a water bottle, because we're going to order a really, really big bulk order, and we're still trying to get an order to see, not an order, but we're trying to get a number to see how many people want them before we order them. So just let me know if you guys want them. So that's all I got for tonight. And we'll see you on Saturday evening. So, peace.